Newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM for today, Sunday, November 14th, 2021. With your news at this time, my name is Joshua Van Slykeman, and without further ado, let's get to the news in details. ESSO on Thursday last held its final public scoping exercise online to inform the preparation of the company's environmental impact assessment study. An exercise that glaringly exposed its inability to provide specific answers to queries and concerns raised. The exercise saw participation from stakeholders locally, regionally, and internationally, including Gary Abound, founding member of the Trinidad and Tobago Fishermen and Friends of the Sea. He told the panelists, including the EPA, that they are prepared to litigate against ExxonMobil Guyana if the demands are not met in writing in the EIA to be prepared. Accusing the panelists of attempting to hoodwink the stakeholders as it relates to the emergency preparedness in the event of an emergency, Abound iterated that the scoping exercise being conducted is for a Caribbean audience who are concerned when we speak about oil spills. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. Civil society group Article 13 has lambasted President Ali's unambiguous call to world leaders at the recently concluded 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference of Parties COP26, and it exposing his duplicity has called for the immediate ban on the export of logs. This in addition to the holding of extensive consultation for the administration's two flagship energy projects, namely the Gas to Shore initiative and the development of the Amila Falls hydroelectric project, given the potential economic pitfalls and the future financial burdens. The group in a public missive yesterday drew reference to the President's unambiguous call at COP26 for immediate action to avoid a global disaster, and observed that it contrasted with that have emerged from these conferences for the past 26 years, including promises not kept and long-term commitments with no measurable intermediate markers. Held under the theme, Towards Renewal in the Americas, the 51st regular session of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States concluded on Friday last, where Guyana's Foreign Minister and International Cooperation, Hugh Todd, called for the restructuring of international institutions. Regarding the priorities, Minister Todd highlighted that areas such as increased inequality, higher levels of poverty, higher debt burdens, setbacks in the education of children, and greater food insecurity as a sequel of impact of the COVID-19. Minister Todd added that the government of Guyana envisions an enhanced role for the OAS in advancing disaster resilience in the hemisphere and supported the adaptation of the related resolution tabled by the delegation of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Richard Van West Charles, the former Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Water Incorporated and head of Atlantic Fuel Incorporated, has secured judgment to the tune of $10 million in a defamation claim against Kaieteur News. The former GWI boss had sued the publication in 2019 for an article headlined Van West Charles Fuel Company under the spotlight of under-invoicing tender fakes document to GRA. Kaieteur News' publisher Glenn Lal has already indicated that he will be taking steps to ask for a stay of the judgment and file an appeal. Dr. Van West Charles' judgment follows a list of decisions in libel suit granted against Kaieteur News and its publisher Glenn Lal. The newspaper is currently involved in a similar dispute with former NISL CEO Winston Brassington, where he sued the newspaper 19 times in one day for contests on a Dem Boise article and was awarded close to $40 million by two judges. Get the full details in today's Kaieteur News. And sticking with the courts, Justice Fidela Corbin Lincoln ruled on Friday that the state breached now retired puisne judge, High Court Judge William Ramlal's fundamental right of equality of the law as guaranteed under Article 149D of the Constitution when he made to pay judicial income taxes from 2004 up until his retirement in 2014. Ramlal was appointed to that office in July 2000 and has since retired. His judicial income was taxable at the time of his appointment and remained taxable at the time of his retirement. His case is that in 2003, the judges of the Supreme Court engaged in a meeting with the then Executive President of the Republic of Guyana regarding the provision of better terms and conditions of services for all judges. A case was made out for the grant of an exemption from income tax on the earnings of all judges. Former Attorney General Basil Williams has flagged the People's Progressive Party civic government's attempt to subdivide the Region 4 polling district into 4 polling sub-districts as a backdoor maneuver to steal party seats. Williams criticized the government, saying that it designed to create confusion in a geographical constituency that they have been unable to win for the time. In Ghana, there are 10 geographical constituencies, each of the 10 regions of Ghana being a registrational district, and a polling district under the local government organs is deemed to be a geographical constituency. The 10 geographical constituencies elect 25 of the 65 members of the National Assembly, and the number to be elected from each geographical constituency is reflected in the table. According to former Attorney General, the Region 4 geographical constituency is to elect 7 members of the National Assembly. There is no physical boundary demarcated in Region 4 geographical constituency to which any of the 7 candidates members, nor indeed is in any of the 9 regional geographical constituency. Williams said that the government must explain why this proposition is not being extended to Region 3 and 6 in particular. And this is your main newscast on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM, finally at this time. Georgetown is listed among 9 major cities across the world that are listed to be underwater by 2030 as a result of the rise in sea level caused by global warming due to the persistent and accelerated climate change in recent years. In light of this damning prediction, it should be recognized that Guyana's 214,970 square kilometers in land area, approximately 90% of the population live on is stretched close to the low-lying coastline of approximately 459 km. This much is documented in the recently launched Expanded Low-Carbon Development Strategy, which in fact underscores the majority of the coastal zone in below sea level and not just in the city. Guyana's low-lying coastal zone relies largely on energized seawalls and ripraps and natural mangroves and sea defense structures to provide protection from the Atlantic Ocean. And that's it news to the moment. My name is Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us. Reminding you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you, or head across our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. Coming up at 11 hours, it will be time for a rebroadcast of last Monday's edition of the Glenn Owls Show. Stay tuned. Stay with us.